Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Nasty Addiction Garage. I just want to first off say thank you to all my subscribers and all the new subscribers. I hope you like it and please subscribe. So where we left off last time, the car did go to get painted, or was sent out to go get painted. The car was supposed to get painted today. There was kind of a little bit of a mishap. And the car's going to get painted tomorrow. But in the meantime, while the car is not here in the garage, I have enough space now to start working on this motor. There's still a lot of things that I got to remove from this motor, and I want to get to it as soon as possible, just so that when that car comes back, all I need basically is to get it wet sanded, buffed, and it's going to happen here in the garage, and then I can start popping this thing in. I was reading the DIY book that Prime has, so there's quite a few different things that I'm not going to be using off of this motor. So just a reminder, I've never done a turbo swap in my life. I've taken one apart out of an MR2, but I've never actually put one in, and especially a 5th gen. I think the one that I took out was a 2nd gen of some kind or something like that. I'm not too sure. But this was a 5th gen. I heard that there's a couple other different things that you need to do opposed to what you would do to a 2nd gen. But in the meantime, I'm going to start removing a whole bunch of stuff over here. I still got to take the intake manifold. There's just quite a few different things I got to do to this before I could say it's complete and ready to be put in. So let's get to it, man. Time is ticking. Let's go. So this is kind of where we left off. I believe I removed the heat shields. I took off the wire harness. So I got the whole wire harness here. I'm actually going to move it all to the side so then I can just start packing it away with the harness from the 5th gen, or from the Red MR2's 5S. Obviously, I'm not going to be using this. If there's anybody that wants this, let me know. I could give it to you, like, whatever. Like, it looks like in good condition, but I am not going to use it. What else did I do? Remove the intake manifold, so that's off. Remove the valve cover. Sent out a lot of things to get powder coated, so that's the reason why everything is kind of off like this. I still got to remove all this stuff. Alternator, the AC, power steering. This MR2 doesn't have power steering, so I'm not going to be using that anyway, so I'm going to remove it. I'm going to change out the harmonic balancer. There's quite a few different things, so hang tight, guys. We're going to get to this right now. All right, I'm going to start off removing actually this, the AC compressor. I believe this, no, power steering. I'm going to start removing the power steering, get this out of the way. So let's get it done. So it's coming out a little bit better. It looks a lot cleaner now. Engine looks a lot smaller as well. But yeah, so I removed the idler bracket. I removed the power steering. I removed the weird mount that they had here. which is super weird, but I think it was used for the Caldina instead. I'm going to remove these just because I got new ones of these. I got to clean it up. Like the motor is a little dirty, but I'm going to clean that up. Compiled a whole bunch of parts here, but let's continue getting it done. So real quick, before we move on to the side components, there was this thing hanging here. I come to find out that we're not going to be using this. So what I'm going to be doing actually is I'm actually going to probably cut this out. Cut here maybe and cut here and use the same bracket to still attach to the intake manifold so then it can hold the fuel line in place. Because I kind of like this little bracket here. But if I cut this out, it would make total sense just to have that there and let it hold the fuel line. So I'm going to save this. I don't know if very many people do that with this swap. I'm not sure. But I'm going to definitely use it. Just going to cut these off, clean it up a little bit, maybe powder coat it, make it look pretty, and set it there. So I'm going to save this. So now let's move on to the side. So according to what I've been reading, I got to remove this motor mount bracket. I got to remove the alternator bracket, the AC, and that should be it, I think, for this side. And I believe this, I'm not sure, but I have to read a little bit more. Definitely going to remove this. Already ordered one of these from Toys R Us, just because I'm not gonna install this motor with this like this. This is horrible. But I got a brand new one, OEM, so it'll be nice. No writing, no nothing. I'll even leave the little barcode and the little Toyota sticker there for whoever buys it. They can see that it's brand new. But I'm going to remove all this, try to keep all the bolts in place to make sure everything stays where it's supposed to be. Okay, so let's get to it. It's actually really starting to look like I'm taking it apart. Like it's making some progress now. So, like I said, I removed the timing belt cover. This has been removed. It was broken. I can show you right here. It was just cracked. It came cracked. So I'm not too worried about it. I ordered another one from Toys R Us. So don't have to worry about that. Relatively cheap. I think it was like $50. Like with shipping, it was like 60 something in total. But the next steps now, we're going to remove the alternator bracket, the alternator. I'm going to move down to the AC compressor. Then we're going to move around here and remove the catalytic converter. Not going to be using that. So by all means, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to see if I can still use this bracket, but I think it's connected to the alternator down here. So most likely I'm not. I know that the TCS Motorsport downpipe, or whatever you want to call this, has a bracket with it, so I'll probably be using that. But I just don't want to throw away anything that I might potentially use eventually, and you know, I don't want to end up going backwards and having to buy it and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do now is start removing this alternator, move down to the AC compressor. I'm not sure what this is just yet, but it looks like it connects to both of these. So I don't know. Let me see how that looks. I got to do a little bit more reading, but let's start moving that alternator. Took off the alternator and the alternator bracket. Left these in here just because I don't want to lose them. I don't think I'm going to need them, but I also don't want to lose them, so I left them in the place that they were at, so then I can remember where they actually belong. As far as this goes, there was this little bracket that was connected to the alternator bracket that was right here, that I believe plugs into something, if not the alternator itself, some other something. I'm not sure exactly what, but it was bolted up to the side here. So what I did was I just unbolted it, left it dangling, because I'm sure I'm going to be using it at one point or another. Also left the bolts in here because I don't want to lose them. So the next step, I think at this point, is actually starting to remove this thing, this downpipe or bracket or whatever you call it. So I'm going to try to remove it in one piece, including removing these. I'm going to take off the shield first, I think, and then go from there. So let's get to it. Hey everybody, so I was able to remove the catalytic converter fairly easy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts that need to be removed. I also removed the gasket. As you can see, the gasket's not all that bad, guys. It does not look bad at all in there. Nice and dry, no oil, but you could even tell the pattern is still kind of on this gasket. So not too bad, not too bad at all. I'm saving the bolts, they're all down here, just so then I don't lose them. I'm gonna actually put them back on in a few. I gotta cover that hole like I did with the turbo. That's not too bad, that's easy. But check out all the parts you don't need. Like, I didn't realize you don't need all these parts. Doing research kind of helped, so check it out. AC compressor removed, alternator removed, this is AC bracket, AC condenser bracket, motor mount, alternator bracket. This is like part of the all-wheel drive bracket for the back of the motor for the Caldina. I just removed the intake manifold gasket because I'm going to replace it anyway. Power steering. The car doesn't have power steering, so I'm not going to be using it. I don't know if I was going to be able to use it anyway. This is a damper for the fuel lines I was reading, I'm guessing. I'm not sure, but I'm going to remove that. I'm going to cut this here, cut it back here as well, remove this thing that I'm holding, and just use the bracket to hold the fuel line. I like the way that bracket looks and the way it fits. It fits nice and snug. The AC idler pulley. This is the alternator bracket. A shield from the catalytic converter. I don't know if these are parts that I need to keep and just hold. I don't know if they're worth anything to hold on to them. Maybe, I don't know, maybe one day I want to get a Caldina. I don't know, but as of right now, I'm just going to probably put these in a bin. Here goes the catalytic converter. Pretty simple. Remove the shield from this side here. Remove the 6 bolts from up top. I got to remove and reuse that O2 sensor. This is kind of how it's looking, guys. Check it out. I really... might get addicted.